Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to talk about 3.8 Star Rail. I made a video on this yesterday. I wasn't happy with the video, so I ended up taking it down. I've written a little notepad here to fully digress my thoughts. And today, I just want to come at you as both a content creator and then also a player of Honkai Star Rail and talk about all my problems with the current state of Star Rail and everything that's happening regarding the 3.8 patch. I want to make it clear at the start of this video, this isn't coming out of a place of, I just want to hate on the game for the sake of hating it. You guys know I've been covering this game for 2 years now. I don't just like to mindlessly hate. I just want to talk about these issues because it's something I value on my channel, is having nuance on it and being able to talk about problems. So that's what we'll be doing today. I would also like to make it clear in this video that I will not be talking about the rumors going around on the reasons why the patches were delayed. There has been no 100% confirmation from Hoyoverse on these rumors, so I will not be discussing them as they are considered as leaks. And I would also like to make it clear that's not me saying it's not true. I truly just have no idea. So I'm just making the choice of not commenting on it. That's all. Frankly, all of us will know if it's true or not when 4.0 releases. And if everything Japan related is removed, well, then I guess it was true. And that's just all it is. So anyways, this video is going to be split up into two sections. I'm going to come to you guys and talk to you as a player. And then I'm also going to talk to you as a content creator, because those two perspectives are very, very different on what's happening with 3.8 and everything related. And I'm first going to talk to you as a player of Honkai Star Rail, as an enjoyer of the game, as a consumer of the product. As a consumer, I'm merely disappointed with this patch. That would be my honest reaction. Regardless of everything going on with 4.0, this is still an incredibly disappointing patch for a majority of players. It feels extremely underwhelming, extremely underdeveloped, and it doesn't feel like there was much planning that really went into this patch. The Dahlia looks like an amazing character, but other than that, there was lackluster events, missing reruns, and a lot of other things that I just felt like should have been included in this patch. A lot of people like to take the direction of calling this a filler patch and saying, oh, it's necessary to have this patch because, you know, 4.0 is coming out. They need time to work on that. So it was okay to have a filler patch at this point. I'm going to be entirely honest. I disagree with that notion. Basically entirety. I don't get, as a consumer, why we should want filler patches. I'm not even saying you're entirely wrong in wanting it. I'm just saying I don't necessarily understand it. For me, as a consumer, I don't want filler patches. I want continually good and improved patches every update. And I feel like that's not an entirely outrageous thing to say. I just want the game to be constantly and consistently good. I don't think we should plan for this patch to be the bad patch. This is the bad patch where nothing happens, because this is a live service game, and having even if you don't include the 2 weeks, 4 weeks of like no content, it's still absolutely ridiculous in my honest opinion. And then when you add on the additional 2 weeks, there was other things they could have done, which I feel like would have been within their power, like adding an additional like new event or just giving the correct reruns. I've seen some theories out there. I'm going to be honest. I think this theory is a little ridiculous, that the reason Rappa isn't getting a rerun is because she's Japanese based. I don't put any stock into this theory, but some people do. So if you want to believe that, you can. And I want to make sure I also state, I understand that gacha games aren't meant to be played 24/7. There's not something to do in the game every day. But this is no longer a situation of, oh, there's nothing to do for 1 or 2 weeks. Even that I'm fine with. I don't have a problem if there's no content for 1 to 2 to maybe even 3 weeks. But this is 7 weeks no content for a live service game. In my opinion, that is unacceptable. And personally, as a player, this whole patch doesn't give me any hope for the future, and it doesn't make me happy. It makes me very worried as a player, and it doesn't help when Hoyoverse is dead silent. Instead of addressing the community, they instead do silly things like this, where they use fluffy, funny language like, special note, the character preview segments originally scheduled for tomorrow and after have their times adjusted. We thank you for your continued support. Or version 3.8 will have a special duration that differs from regular versions, and it is expected to last around 8 weeks. I feel like this just makes it look so like silly and fun. I don't know. I really don't like the way this is worded. Even in the comments here, you can see a special duration is an interesting way to announce that 4.0 is delayed. Like, I don't get why they can just be transparent with their words. I feel like they never are. They've had a history of doing this throughout their entire career, where they either do one of two things. They silence situations, or they just don't address them. I know this because I myself have been silenced in past situations when I've worked on Genshin Impact contracts. I know this happened. You saw it with the Chinese players being silenced when they tried to address the issues with Cyrene, and Hoyoverse just went, la la la, we can't hear you. They never address anything. And as a player, it's immeasurably frustrating. It really is. And I don't think anyone should be defending their lack of communication with us. Even if you want to excuse them for this situation in particular, there's multiple other instances in the past that I can think of where they've done this. I'm gonna be honest. I think most games, if they were in the situation Hoyoverse is right now, where they had to delay one of their big update patches by an extra 2 weeks, would probably give compensation. Will we see any compensation from Hoyo? Probably not. There will probably be none. And like I said, they probably won't address anything. And as a player, that's my full opinion. I'm just disappointed and wish we heard more from them. But anyways, now I'm going to move on to the second section, where we're going to talk about my reaction to this as a content creator. As a content creator, I'm crushed by this patch. It is so demoralizing as a content creator. And I know I'm not the only one who feels this way. I've talked to other content creators about this. I have connections to a lot of the HSRCCs. And frankly, if I don't have a connection to you, reach out to me. I love to talk. But yeah, a lot of them are demoralized by this. It's not something that's really shocking. Later on this week, we're going to be doing a podcast where I'm going to be inviting all of a bunch of HSRCCs on. And we're going to talk about all our problems with the current state of Star Rail, and especially with the current state of Honkai Star Rail content creation on the game. The fundamental problem with Honkai Star Rail content creation is it relies very heavily on new characters being released to make good content, especially for guide related channels. If there's no new characters, they just have nothing to talk about for the game. So when you get a content update with only Dahlia, that's it. No new relic sets, no new nothing. It's very hard to make content for. And having this 7-week no content patch is absolutely killer. I mean, I'm going to be real. The past 3 weeks have already been hard for the Cyrene banner because there was only one character released. And so for the past, like, I would say 2 weeks, maybe, I've struggled making content. I've done account reviews, remembrance only. And you guys saw me try to make freaking Danganronpa content because I had no other ideas. And frankly, I'm very passionate about the game. Didn't succeed though, so I probably won't be coming back to that. But yeah, no, it's tough. I think it's also a fault of my own. And I don't think there's really any point of looking at people to blame. I think it's just my own flaw in my channel where I feel like I'm incapable of making content for other games and having it succeed. I feel like throughout the history of this channel, I can only ever cover one game because I have a hard time translating my audience to a second game or moving them over. And I think I rely a little too heavily on the success of Star Rail for my channel to perform well. And that's a flaw of my own, and that's nobody else's fault. And to be honest, no gacha creator should ever just be covering one game. It's just not the way to succeed in this space at all. Because these are live service games. They have ups and they have downs. But I will say, as someone who has put a lot of stocks into Hoyoverse over years and years of playing Genshin into Star Rail, this has probably been the most disappointed by the game I've ever been as a content creator, and felt the most just demoralized in any aspect to make content on the game. Because there is just simply nothing. It's an empty patch. I'm going to have 1 week of Dahlia content. The next 7 weeks is rough. It really is. My current plans right now, I'm going to be trying to make and incorporate more Wuwa content. I absolutely love that game. I think it's awesome. 3.0 is coming out. I plan to cover more of that. I don't think I'll go back to Genshin. The very slim chances of that, but you never know. And then we may also make some ZZZ content. And then also we'll cover any new gacha games coming out as well. So that's the current plan right now. I hope this helped you guys get a little bit of a better idea of my current thoughts. Don't worry about me. Don't feel bad for me. I'm a content creator. Frankly, all I do is sit here in a chair and make videos. You do not need to feel bad for me. Frankly, my job is immeasurably easy. But either way, yeah, that's gonna be all for our video, boys. I'm gonna see you all in the next one. Peace.